Man, you are one pathetic loser. No offense. No, none taken.
That is right, none taken. I am the Movie Moron. This is the Movie Moron podcast. I'm your host, Easton Moore.
Oh, come on now, Doris. Do I look like a maniac who goes around killing girls?
I hope not.
That's creepy.
That was creepy. What is that from?
I have no idea.
Oh.
I just got a ginormous list of horror movie quotes, and I found a few that
Horror movie quotes.
possibly.
Quotes.
What?
I was just saying quotes weird, but it sounded
Oh, okay.
bad.
And then with us over there in the corner is Trevor, our practical co-host.
I just saw a lion and a man without a head. What did you see last night?
And then our all-time guest, Tristan.
Don't let the ghosts and the ghouls disturb you, darling.
Oh.
Don't let the ghosts and
I
That's
won't.
Vincent. That's a House on Haunted Hill.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I knew that. Yeah, they're all famous ones. It just doesn't tell me what.
Right.
And I was trying to find like classic ones, and there was no list of just like all classic ones. They were just giving me like classic horror sounds.
Nobody said a man's best friend is his mother.
I'm sure that's in this list somewhere, but
Yeah.
Yeah, I did find a
Norman
list that had a
Bates.
lot of Norman Bates, but then I clicked it and said file not recognized, so it wouldn't play it. So
The only one I can think of is Here's Johnny.
Oh, that's good.
yeah,
But that's not
possible.
like
But like I
it's not
said, I need them all in one
right.
list so I can. click
Come on,
back and
internet
forth.
people.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
Why did you pick all horror quotes today?
I'm glad you asked.
I thought you were being serious for a second.
Maybe he is. Maybe he forgot because we
No.
watched this movie 12 days ago. Not that long ago. But yeah, this week we are talking about a indie movie that made its way around the film festival circuit and then made its way into theaters. And a lot of people are talking about. We're talking about Talk to Me, a Australian horror film that was directed by Michael Philippou and Danny Philippou.
Philippa, bro. They're
Okay, good.
brothers, yeah. Or twins, actually.
Very cool.
They have I meant to check them out today, but they have a channel on YouTube and they do horror shorts. And this was one of their first features, I think.
That's so cool.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and we were really interested. It got really good reviews. I can't remember the studio that's attached to it, but I didn't remember.
A24.
Was it A24?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I saw a lot that I didn't recognize, so I was kind of.
You probably didn't because the 2 is the hand making a gross looking 2. Yeah,
okay.
it's ugh.
Yeah. But we will stay spoiler free. If you don't know anything about the movie and you're just trying to figure out if you're at all interested, we'll talk about spoiler free. And then we'll do spoilers after the break. Something that I've been meaning to chat about, and I keep on forgetting when we do the episodes. I mean, at this point, it's been like 3 weeks, but we have been asked by a few people why we haven't said anything about the strikes that are happening, and you know, we review movies. We don't necessarily talk about the news as a whole very often, but we're all pro
strike.
All of the people, all of the actors and writers that are fighting for their jobs, and they're fighting for it now before they no longer have the option to fight at all. So yeah, we're very much pro. I don't know if, I'm sure I haven't made it. I'm sure I've made it very clear that I am anti-Disney and anti-Bob Iger, and this just makes me even more so after all of the comments I've heard from the Disney CEO and a lot of other CEOs that of these major movie companies.
Yeah.
But it's another reason to support A24 as they're continuing to work and write through this because they met their demands
almost
right on
immediately.
The spot. Yeah, right on the spot. So
Round of applause for A24. Thank you.
wait. No, it'll take too long to find it. There's a clapping
applause
thing in
sound?
there,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I have no idea where it is. They glow up colors. They should be able to
Symbols or something?
yeah. Or be able to there should be a line above it so I can put a word 12.
That's what I do with my sample pad is you get white tape You write it out below it.
Yeah,
But you change them all
We're
every
a
week.
label maker.
I do change them often.
And
but-
along with the strike and like art and like a podcast part in it, like podcasts that cover movies aren't necessarily like crossing the picket line because we're not directly involved with that. We don't like interview new actors or actors. We don't have actors like on supporting things, and we don't really like publicize or endorse movies. They just come out and then we review it. And so we like that. If you're wondering why people like Straw Hat Goofy and other people that are continuing to do that work, that's why, is because they're not technically breaking any rules. It looks a little weird and people are getting freaked out about it, but no, podcasts are still able to movie-based podcasts are still able to keep doing their thing.
Yeah, just like movie reviewers, anybody that does any kind of writing for film, news, all of that. Like, we aren't in conjunction with any kind of union.
Right, yeah.
Maybe I wish we were, because then we'd actually get paid. But no, we just do this for fun, and we're just going to continue what's coming out. Because even though the studios are being nut jobs and whatever,
Like
these movies
the
were
worst
still made by people.
Yeah.
The movies that are coming out were still made by people. There were still creators that did it. There were writers that wrote these movies. The actors they still deserve their work to be viewed and watched and seen and talked about. So I don't think it's any kind of crossing up.
Yeah, and even with Oppenheimer, when that day it premiered, like all the actors that were in it showed up to the premiere. I don't know that they stayed to watch it, but they were there to endorse it. And then when the strike dropped, they left. But like, I feel like we should still go and like, because they're still going to get paid. I mean, hopefully they will still get paid from that stuff. But so it's the inner workings of Hollywood is kind of a tricky situation, and you know what's been produced pre-strike, and then you know all that. But yeah.
No, I just it's been like a few movies now that I keep on forgetting to say something, because it was hot news, and there were a lot of questions about what we do and all that. So, but no, we all are very much pro writers and actors being able to get paid for their work.
Yes.
So yeah.
Get AI out of here, man. I'm so sick of hearing about the advancements of it, and I think it's destroying people's lives.
Yeah, I think I've been this way for a while now. I think AI is perfectly fine for personal use, but it should never be touched for say like not marketing.
Like if you should hire a writer. You shouldn't just go to a program and be like, I want a movie based on this. Yes, you can, but like,
well, no, it should be illegal because it's using other people's work. And so that's the problem is an AI is not creating something itself. It's using the whole entire history of writing, and it's plagiarizing all of that and just making its own version of it.
Right.
So, and I mean, you can even argue that technically that's what humans do, but
then a human can put an original spin on something or still make it feel like a new or original concept.
Well, a human is able to create, and AI is not.
There you go.
And so, even if it's inspired by something, it's still able to create it. It's still a human. It has the ability to create it out of its mind, whereas an AI doesn't. It's just taking things, and it may be cool. Like I know a lot of people that use AI art, and that's really cool. If you're doing personal stuff at home and you want to use things to like visualize what you're trying to say or help you in your personal things, like that's perfectly fine, because a lot of us don't have the artistic ability to be able to do that ourselves. So it's perfectly fine. But then if you're going to try to monetize that, I think is the problem, because then you're making money off of other people's art without obviously giving them any kind of credit, because AI is not giving any credit from anybody else. So yeah, I think anytime you monetize it, it should 100% be illegal.
Right.
And that goes all the way up to Hollywood. You shouldn't be able to write scripts off of AI and make money off of it. And you shouldn't be able, I mean, comedy is another big thing. We're on Comedy Mothership, but comedy is another thing where they're scared of it. Because you can write premises into a chat GPT or whatever, and they'll make a joke. Like you can say premise about being late at the airport Mark Norman style, and it'll throw out jokes
Yeah.
that are similar to his style, and obviously, so everyone's scared that it's gonna just you just
Right.
put the stuff in, and then it'll just play, and people find that funnier than
Yeah.
yeah.
Goodness.
Yeah. But anyways, okay. So back to topic at hand. Talk to me. And like I said, we're not going to do any spoilers because
Because
sure
that's
most
how we do
people
these
haven't
episodes.
seen. Yeah, and I'm sure most people haven't seen it yet. So because it was a little bit of a smaller.
I don't know, man. My when
Your letterbox friends.
well, no, Tristan and I both. When we got tickets, I'm not sure. I haven't talked to you about it, but when we got tickets, it was packed.
Yeah.
There were
It was
sold out
just-
shows.
It was
and-
just
It
a
was one seat.
smaller theater.
yeah.
It was just a smaller theater.
Well,
so.
that's fair, but still, I mean, that's good. I
No,
mean,
yeah, I'm
people
not
are
saying
seeing
it's
it.
not
Yeah.
seen. I was just saying that it is a smaller indie film. So if you haven't, stick with us and we'll
Mom didn't know about it.
we'll give you a recommendation. So, and we'll kind of give our general thoughts. So, Trevor, start off with you. What are your general thoughts of this one?
I thought this was great. I think that it's a really good story. I really enjoyed the well, I don't want to give away too much of the story and how the hand works, but I think the hand makes for a good metaphor, as well as working as I put in my letterbox review, a token of horror. And it's freaky looking, and I thought I thought Sophie Wilde, who's the main girl, does a really great job. That one right there on the screen, Tristan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is wild because not wild that she does good. But I'm seeing so many people praising Miranda Otto for her performance.
Who's that?
She was the mother.
Oh.
And
She's the only
she looks
fairly
familiar.
name, yeah.
she's fairly famous. She's
been
she
in
was
Lord of the
in
Rings
Lord of the
and-
Rings.
Okay, that's why she looks familiar.
Which it's not that anybody was bad necessarily, but everybody else has a pretty one-dimensional side to them, where I think Sophie Wilde gets a little more chance to explore.
I mean, she's the lead.
She's the lead, and
The emotional range is through her.
Right.
Yeah, the story is really being guided through her,
Mm-hmm.
and everything that's happening is being shown through her, mostly her perspective. So yeah, she's going to have the opportunity to have the most range, and she does a great job. Yeah,
Yeah.
I very much liked her.
yeah.
Well, liked her performance. I don't know about the character, but
I really I like the soundtrack to it.
Yeah.
Well, I like both. It's the soundtrack and the score. The soundtrack I think was appropriately bumping, for lack of a better word. And then the score stuff, the guy's name is Cornel Wilczek, who is also Australian. And so that was kind of neat to see. When we see movies like this, I feel like this is the Australian equivalent to an Insidious or a Sinister maybe, where it's just an Australian horror movie. And so that we got so many voices in one movie that are specifically Australian is really cool. It got picked up from Adelaide and then went to Sundance, and then A24 won the bidding war for it. And so it was really cool that we are getting to experience that on this kind of level. So, but no, overall, I really enjoyed it. A few minor things that we'll talk about in spoilers, where I think that they kind of traded out explanations or a more tightly woven story for cool scenes, which were cool. And I was like, yeah, this is I actually was more oh my goodness.
yeah.
I'm covering my mouth if you're listening, I can't see. But no, otherwise, I had really great time with this. I wouldn't mind even seeing it again, I think.
I am seeing it again.
What? Rude.
With Mom. Mom wants to see it.
I want to go.
Okay. Yeah, no, I loved it. I totally loved it. I think everybody did a really good job. I'm trying not to spoil. It really came full circle. There are things that there were times I'm like, what does this have to do with anything? And it did have to do with the things. So
yeah,
that was good. I don't know how to say it without.
No,
saying
I
anything.
was going to say something as well along that lines of where I think that the movie does an interesting job of having the story feels like a complete story from finish to end, and it does it in a unique way. I don't know how well it works, which we can talk about, but I do think it's interesting. But I do think it's interesting, and it was a cool thing to see by the end of the movie. Yes, exactly. So yeah, I was also going to bring that up. So
yes, I had something to say.
Mm-hmm. Keep going. You're on fire.
Okay. Ow. Just kidding. That was stupid. Okay.
Oops.
Yeah. What else? Super good. I'm out. That was it.
I have more to say. It was good.
Yeah.
Okay. I will say I do think the movie starts a little slow. Like it it has a interesting start, but then it kind of takes a bit to really get it going. But I had a great time with it. Tristan and I, we all watched this by ourselves.
Yeah.
Right? Or
did you watch it by yourself?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
No, I was gonna say just with the beginning. I don't want to spoil it. Though.
Exactly. That's what I'm just saying. So like it has an interesting start, and then I feel like it takes a moment.
I connected the dots. All right,
yeah, and then it takes a moment to really get going after that moment.
Yeah.
I do think it has a really cool job of like teenage culture.
Yeah.
I think it's very tightly woven into this and done really well. I mean, I don't know how Australian teenage life is, but it feels accurate to what I see, online, and we're not too far removed from that age, and
speak for yourself.
I mean, we're not boomers, okay? So like it's progressed a little bit different, of course, new age of everybody having cell phones, but we're not like everyone had cell phones when we were in high school.
Yeah.
It's just gotten, there's some stuff that have changed.
They had razors and Blackberries.
Oh, there were people getting iPhones when I was in high school.
Razors were the big.
Yeah.
The
Razor,
big
that was like
phone.
middle school for me.
Well, we're the same age.
I know, but I'm saying kids in my middle school were getting razors. By the time high school was popping around, that's when people started getting iPhones and Galaxies and stuff.
It was, but
yeah. But
I do have something to say.
yeah,
though.
I know. You go ahead.
Oh, right now?
Yeah.
I was going to say that I did go to this place by myself, and I sat between two men, and there were seldom a time where all of us laughed at the same time. There were lots of times that something would happen, and the guy to the left of me would laugh. Yeah, would laugh. Or like then the guy to the right of me would laugh, or I would laugh, and it was not always, hardly ever at the same time. There were maybe 2 times that we all laughed at the same parts. So I feel like there's a lot of representation in this movie, and like your not only sense of humor, but like your personality. Like you can find something similar to yourself, I guess.
Okay.
I didn't really relate to anybody in this movie, but I don't know. I just
There
feel
were
like
situations
it has a wide
where you were
range.
like, I could see that. Like you could see being in that situation, maybe.
Not necessarily. More so like
You've never played Talk to Me with a corpse hand?
no. But just like I thought this thing was funny, but nobody else thought it was funny, and then the guy to the left of me thought it was funny, and nobody else did.
It's just saying that there are a lot of different personalities in the movie, and you will probably find a personality that you don't maybe not connect with, but you like find funny. Like there are different types of humor, and like all of those are represented by somebody, and so like you will probably find somebody in this movie funny by how they act, because there's a lot of different styles of humor.
But like situationally funny.
Yeah.
They're not trying to be really.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, which I will say, another thing I was going to say, but is close to this, is the movie has a good contrast of tone throughout the film. There's a lot of times, obviously it's a horror movie, so there are going to be scary things that happen. But then there's also a lot of lighthearted stuff that's happening throughout the movie as well. And they also show that, I mean, probably obviously, but by their lighting and color and stuff. Like the movie's bright and fun, and you said the soundtrack is the soundtrack is upbeat for a long portion of the movie, and it makes sense, and it I think it's cool to have that contrast. Not quite to the level of Barbarian or something, but still good, and felt very unique. And I think that's where this movie is best, is the fact that it's unique.
Yeah.
And it doesn't try to be something more than what it is. I think sometimes with horror, a lot of directors and a lot of movies and writers try to write something that's like so profoundly metaphoric to things that they lose the sight of the actual horror.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's why people like the dumb things like not Megan. Well, Megan is one.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't remember the one with the
Annabelle.
no, the person in the back of the head.
Oh, Malignant.
Malignant, yeah. Another one that's like, it's just, it's not trying to be anything more than it is. It's just a horror that has a twist.
I forgot about that movie.
And people
I
love
totally
it. People
forgot
are
about
really
it.
drawn to it because it just is straight up horror. And it seems like in this A24, I love A24, but in the A24 realm, they tried to do things that are a little bit more out there.
Mm-hmm.
Which is great.
Yeah.
Looking at
I
you.
love it.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I'm looking at you men is what I'm trying to say.
Oh.
You know. They do things like that are way more, toting the lines of real horror and just message horror or whatever. So,
Sure.
This was, good because of that. And then, like you guys have said, I think the whole cast is really good. Just so you know, Miranda is the person that defeats Sauron. That's,
she's Aowen in
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings. Yeah.
Just to give you a visual aid there. That's who that.
She
That's
has-
what you know her from. She's
Yeah.
most famous for
Yeah, I know that.
killing Saruman. Because a man
Oh,
can't.
the Witch King.
Yeah. Not Saruman.
Saruman falls off the tower.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Starman falls off the tower.
Actually, it's the Witch King of Angmire. So, just not being stupid.
That's okay. It's not Star Wars, so you're fine.
No, that's true. I was just thinking. That is the line where it said no man can.
Yeah,
kill.
she does it.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay, but it's that person.
Yeah.
Other than that,
Oh no! Now I've thrown you off your rhythm.
you did. But this movie is occasionally and well done gory. It's which I enjoy.
I did close my eyes. I felt a little silly because I was by myself there and I didn't want to look stupid. But
Did you do the old?
no, I went like this and then
Yeah.
I would like pee
Oh my gosh!
just a little bit. I had to see if it was clear,
What
and
are-
you
what are
weren't
you,
there
a
to tell me to
stereotype?
open my eyes.
I'm sure they were wondering if you were even allowed to be in the theater.
What does that mean?
That's like what a 12-year-old does when they go to a horror
Oh,
movie.
please. It was being disgusting.
Yeah, but you cover. That's like the stereotypical kid thing.
I had to see if it was clear. You weren't there to tell me.
Oh, I
You couldn't
wasn't-
hear the bloody
Ew.
clops to hear it was done.
I do usually tell her it's good now.
Yeah. Because you see me doing that, and then you're like, I'll tell you.
Well, no,
I'm
I
like,
do it
"Okay,
because
good."
I'm slightly annoyed that you're closing your eyes, and I want you to watch the movie as soon as possible.
Whatever.
You're a grown woman. You can see some fake blood.
Okay, say that until I throw up all over you.
You won't throw up.
Yes, I will.
It won't happen.
I will. Watch me.
We're gonna watch Hobo with a shotgun. I'm gonna Clockwork Orange you, so you have to
Oh,
watch the
jeez.
entire thing,
No,
and you ain't gonna throw up.
no.
And you ain't gonna throw
But
up.
the thing is, I don't want to close my eyes. I have to, of my own skin.
You don't have to. You're choosing.
No, stop that. I'm gonna get angry. It's not like I want to, but I have to. It's so disgusting.
So it does get a little disgusting, but it's good gore.
And it doesn't
I
last
enjoyed
for
it.
long. Well, usually.
Yeah, Demi, what are your thoughts? All right.
Solid.
Okay, well, you guys got anything else you want to say here in the spoiler-free version?
I don't think so. Not for me, Bucky.
Okay, just a big yawn. Okay, recommendations?
Yeah, I think so. I don't think you necessarily need to see it in the theater. You could probably wait till it's digital if you want to, but go take money away from Haunted Mansion. Go see this instead.
We definitely picked this over Haunted Mansion. I'm so happy.
I heard the budget for this was $4.5 million. Guess how much the budget for Haunted Mansion is?
240.
It's not quite that high, but it is high. It's 156.
Well, it's Disney, so I just assume they just
Well,
whatever number it should be, they
Why
put
did they-
200 more.
Yeah.
Why did they redo Haunted Mansion though? It was
They
Eddie Murphy.
They redo everything.
That was notorious. I haven't rewatched it in since I saw it, I think, but what's the word I'm trying to say? People say that original Haunted Mansion is not very good.
Yes.
But like I said, I haven't seen it in years. I can't
and
attest
so
to
they're
that.
gonna remake it, so it's not very good again.
Yes.
Boom,
That's
roasted.
stupid. That's silly. Even the trailer didn't look good.
Well, this is America.
This is
This
America.
is America.
Don't catch you slipping up.
Don't get you slipping up.
Just repeating whatever Trevor says.
Yeah, I don't know any more words.
Plot
But
twist. Me either. Do you recommend?
Yeah, of course. I almost said it's delicious. It's so good.
It's not delicious.
No.
I'll tell you
definitely
what, though.
not delicious.
Those feet look delicious.
Ew, what?
From the movie.
I mean, I get the reference.
Okay, I'm glad someone did.
Yeah, I got your reference. Don't worry. I 100% recommend it.
100%?
Yeah. However, I would say go to the theaters to support a small director or whatnot, but also if Oppenheimer is still in your IMAX or Dolby, go watch that, please.
Or if you've seen it once and you can't do it again like me, watch this movie.
Yeah, that's true.
Um,
Yeah. We also did watch TMNT, Mutant Mayhem.
You guys did.
Yes, which is the episode we're doing next week, so I won't do a review. But we got like a really early release.
Yeah, you did.
But I will say go watch that and prep for our episode.
It's my leg on the couch.
Oh, okay.
no.
It is. Look, listen.
Yeah, I saw it.
Oh, man.
Yeah, Tristan thought Trevor just ripped a
Was
ginormous one, but
no, it's just my sweaty legs on the couch.
yeah.
Ew.
But no, we're gonna review that next week, and I will go ahead and just throw it out here early that yes, it's a recommend to go watch. It's like a lot of fun.
Well, you've
Even
convinced
I
me.
recommend.
Well, you have to, so.
Oh,
Not me.
But
It's
now you're gonna
my
be happy
last
about it.
movie.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, you haven't talked about Trevor leaving.
That's okay. He doesn't have to. We can talk about it next week.
Yeah. Goal was to talk about it next week.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's fine. But yeah, so I recommend this. But also, if you're going, also if you go to the theaters, also like you've got 4 movies that you can watch in theaters, and they're all great, and none of them are Haunted Mansion, so don't do that.
Boom.
Oppenheimer, you can still go watch Barbie. You can still watch. You can still watch Oppenheimer. You can still watch Barbie. You can watch Talk to Me if it's not already out of theaters.
No, it's still there.
Okay. So yeah, you can go watch this, and you can go watch TMNT. And
Or
then
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Mutant Mayhem.
You and May.
That opened with like a 97% Rotten Tomatoes, which is 50% more than any other Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie ever.
I
Wow.
was impressed.
Yes. Yeah. So
I
yeah,
really was.
Still haven't seen the Michael Bay ones.
that's fine.
Okay.
Have
They're
I
like
seen them?
no, I don't
Oh,
think so.
I thought you liked them.
I do.
Yeah.
But they're not like I just like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Like I'm a huge fan of them.
We got 100% on the trivia before the movie. Ayo.
Yeah.
Together, not separate.
Congratulations.
They had like
Thank
8.5 minutes of like behind the scenes stuff.
It was very cool.
Yeah.
I'm glad.
Which we'll talk about it
Next
Sorry.
week.
on the episode. But yeah. Okay, so yeah, you have a bunch of movies to go watch in theaters if you want to. Now would be a good time to go check out AMC A-List or Regal Unlimited or whatever
Movies are back, baby.
for a solid maybe 2 months, and then we'll go back to nothingness. I mean, we do have October coming up, so there'll be probably some horror movies that are going up, and then we'll have a break, and then we'll have
I love horror
Oscar.
movies.
And then we'll have Oscar time, where everyone tries to throw their Oscar movie in, and
Maybe we'll get another Uncut Gems.
you hate that movie.
I know.
That's why it's weird that you brought it up.
It was the first one that came to mind.
Yeah. So, anyways, yeah.
Yeah.
Go watch all those. We're going to take a short little break. Go watch all of them. Back to back to back to back.
Yeah, drop your kids off on the street and go watch them.
They can watch TMNT
And then they can join you for
and Barbie.
those movies.
And then, yeah, then they can join you for Oppenheimer and Talk to
No.
Me.
No.
I don't know. I think Talk to Me might be good for like 15-year-old boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a late teenager, maybe.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. We'll be back right after this break. All right, we're back.
We're back.
After that short little break. Yes, we'll get into spoilers. Probably won't be too long. We'll knock this out. But if you guys have seen it, we're going to talk about all the spoilers. So if you haven't seen it, we're going to spoil things that there actually are spoilers in this.
Right. Yeah.
So,
Mm-hmm.
I guess,
you better
As opposed to
pause
trying
it,
to sludge
Mom.
through Oppenheimer, where we're like, this actually happened, right?
Yeah.
Can you just talk about it, can't we?
yeah. So, I guess, Mom, if you're listening, you're going to go watch it anyway. So just don't watch it. Don't listen. Don't finish this episode yet.
Oh, she'll do it anyway.
No, she's been pausing.
Oh, wow.
Don't me.
When she's going to go watch it?
Mhm.
Okay.
Oh,
I was about to say, I was like,
good
oh,
job, Mom.
You know, if you've got the option, you might as well.
Well, guess what? I'm going to go back to listening to the whole episode again or see. Because before I was on the podcast, that's what I would do.
Yeah.
And get back to it. Good
Yeah.
stuff. Anyway.
Oh my gosh.
Um.
Scared Demi.
So the hand's like a drug metaphor, right? It's like a metaphor for like for like hard drugs or something. Teenagers.
I thought it was like a
using
Ouija
drugs.
board.
I mean, I think the hand is supposed to be like that's the purpose of it, but I think it's a metaphor for like kids using drugs.
Oh, I don't know.
I mean,
I guess that makes sense.
I guess it would make sense, or maybe there is no metaphor and it's just trying to be a spooky thing that kids do. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I think it might be more on like the generation that does like stupid trend stuff for whatever. Like they do the Tide
I think
Pods,
that's part
they
of
do
it
the
too, yeah.
dances, and they do the whatever, and they do
Right.
things that almost kill them.
Yeah.
And like, I think it's just trying to say like that generation would do something that they're obviously connecting to a different realm that has super dangerous
Right.
like connotations, but like, hey, they got the clip.
Yeah.
And apparently it felt like really good. So
Yeah.
maybe there's the drug metaphor. The reason why I feel weird about saying that they were trying to make a drug metaphor is
I don't think they were trying.
Oh,
I think it's
okay.
just like implied that like you can look at it as if it's
Gotcha.
like or like they're treating the hand as if like you would be
Yeah.
addicted to a drug kind of thing.
The mom just said so many times, like she mentioned drugs so many
That's
times.
also why I was kind of thinking that too.
That's why I was like, that just feels like too, like if that's the metaphor you're trying to make, I'm like, oh, I don't want that
pushing
to.
it.
Yeah, I didn't want it to be that because they said it so many times. So,
Yeah.
But you know, it is what it is. So yeah, obviously the thing that I said at the beginning, like it starts off with a bang because the
Yeah, that opening is really intense.
Or he doesn't murder the person, but he stabs him
You
and then
think
murders
he's?
himself.
I thought he was dead.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a
I was thinking about the kangaroo.
deep cut.
Yeah.
And then wait. Oh.
Yeah.
I thought the kangaroo bit was pretty heavy-handed. Like it just felt. I mean, I know that
That was
like,
a good opening though, the knife stuff.
The knife
I
stuff,
didn't
yeah,
get to say
yeah.
that.
that's also. I didn't know it was an Australian film yet. But
I
then
didn't either.
with the kangaroo, I'm like, why is there? I was like that.
random kangaroo.
Well, at first I was like, that deer looks really messed up, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I was like, this deer looks really like
Yeah.
I thought maybe it was supposed to be like some sort of mutated deer
Yeah.
thing, and then I looked at it
Which,
more, and
I mean, that is very A24
Yeah.
for them to do something like that.
Yeah.
and then it like got closer and closer, and I was like, wait, is that a kangaroo?
Yeah.
I think I did
Why
the
the
same
heck
thing.
is there a kangaroo? And then I was like, they do have an accent.
Yeah.
Wait a second.
Well, and
They're in Australia.
yeah, and the opening I think said Adelaide Film Festival. That's how I
don't
found
know.
it out pretty quick.
I didn't know who that was
Yeah.
or what that is, but I did
It's
see
a
that.
city in Australia.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, I thought that part was pretty. It was kind of like, okay, well, she's gonna have to make a choice later where she has to kill somebody. So
Oh,
You gotta
I
do-
didn't even connect that, yo.
I didn't think it was heavy-handed. I think it's because it's also just a really easy way to get the audience already kind of creeped out by seeing death and mutilation.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And it was crying.
Yeah.
okay.
Was it when the kid's bashing his head in? Is that when you had to close your eyes?
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
Yep.
I thought that might be where it was.
All the
Yeah.
times.
All the times,
on the
'cause it was a
desk or
solid
whatever.
2 minutes of bashing
Yeah,
his
I
head
just slam.
I thought he was-
Oh, and he
could
tries
watch
to pull
it.
his eye out.
in. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I for sure started closing my eyes at that time. I could handle it like the first couple times, and then it kept going, getting worse, and I'm like, okay, I can't.
Yeah. Was that okay? So what about I'm just curious on this other one. What about the horny ghost that's like making out with the dog or whatever?
Ew. Yeah, I don't remember, but I remember being disgusted. I think I did close my eyes for just a tiny bit.
Yeah. That all the kids that do, not all the kids, specifically the boyfriend and then Sophie, I think they both do a good job with the possession stuff. And yeah, the kid that is supposed to be, or that gets taken over by the main girl's mom or deceased mom. He did good, but like, I mean, it is just a lot of action sequences. Like, you know, he gets pulled down and does the headbanging stuff. And so
She thinks it's her mom.
I thought it was, because doesn't she see her later?
I don't think that's
And she
real,
she
though.
calls her by her nickname or something like that.
That anybody can, any spirit can do that.
Oh, okay.
All the demons
You
know
an
everything.
expert.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's no way.
The only thing that makes you feel like it's not is because it kept on telling her, like, a lie.
Yeah.
Because it kept, like, unless the father lied.
No.
Well, and see, that's the part where I think the movie this is third act stuff. Like, I think where it kind of starts to fall apart. Not the story just doesn't get to be as woven together anymore, because now we're having unreliable narrators, like because the brother of the guy in the beginning says the longer the ghost is in a body, the weaker the ghost gets, until like it sounds like he made it sound like the ghost would just go away.
Yeah.
And then the mother saying, like, implying that it wasn't a suicide. And then with the father stuff, so when we get introduced to those unreliable narrators, I think that's where it starts to be like, okay, so like what actually is supposed to be happening here?
I thought the brother was saying the longer it goes, the weaker the human gets.
Oh, maybe that's what it was.
I thought it meant the ghost.
I thought,
But
I
then
took
when
it as
we get the scene where she, like, gets brought to the thing, you see him being completely, like, engulfed by multiples and stuff.
Like I've heard people saying like that was not real either.
Yeah.
And so, although, man, there were two scenes where I like covered my mouth and I was like, oh my gosh, and that was one of them. When the ghost says, I let you in, I was like, what?
Yeah.
And then
The girl.
and then you see it, and like that was a legitimately horrifying experience.
Absolutely.
And I kind of do think that the horror movies I like the most are the ones that try not to give you too much information. They just let the thing be horrifying without explaining, and they were doing a really good job with that. Until the third act, they started trying to do a little bit more of explaining, because she was trying to figure out how to help him. And so they did more like trying to explain. And then, of course, we get the end where I guess she kills herself to take places, which doesn't really make sense.
Because I think it's implied that she is also possessed for the duration of the feet. She sees the ghost go to suck on that dude's feet.
Ew.
And then
Okay, that's what you guys were talking about. Yeah.
And then it's her. And so I think that's where I took it, was like, okay, maybe she's realizing that like she is possessed and like she couldn't kill the kangaroo, and so like she can't kill this kid, and so like then she and I've heard people also say that like they're not sure if she was pushed into traffic by the other girl or if she jumped. I thought she jumped.
I thought she jumped too.
Oh, you thought she was pushed? Yeah. So and I kind of like that we're having this conversation of like, okay, so what actually like they don't totally show us.
I just wish they, like, when we got that scene of Riley, I think is his name.
That's the little kid, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Being engulfed
Or
by
not the little kid, but like the younger
he's
brother.
like
Yeah.
I mean, but he's young compared to the rest.
I
Yeah.
know, it was just funny.
And which I think they play that off really well too.
Yeah.
Of like a 17-year-old sister is not going to want her
Yeah.
14 or 15-year-old brother coming into all of their things. So,
Mhm.
and the friends on the outside are sometimes also friends with the siblings, and
Yeah.
like sometimes
Yeah.
they're more chill with it than the other ones. So,
Yeah.
anyways, I really thought they were gonna go like the route of just she has to sacrifice herself and she's gonna trade places, and I feel like that would have made a little bit more sense than what we got. Like
I
I
wouldn't
just
have liked that.
Yeah, because and that's like I think that with that unreliable narrator thing is so like okay, so did the ghost just eventually leave Riley's body?
Yeah.
Did it? Was it a trade places kind of thing where like they
Yeah.
needed to kill somebody? Yeah, and so
because you don't know. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
Because the last thing we get is she's dead and wandering around, and then she's obviously a part of the other side of the talk to me and then that's it.
Yeah.
So we don't know if Riley was saved in
Yeah.
the end or not. We also don't know why Riley's ghost or whatever wants to kill him, but then Sophia's whatever her name is, Mia's
doesn't want.
yeah, like if she's not possessed, but
Yeah.
he is, and they both had it on for longer than
90 seconds.
90
or whatever.
seconds.
Yeah.
and so like there's again some like explaining stuff that wasn't like it. Just consistency is key when you're doing these kind of things, and there was some lapse of consistencies, and that's what begs the questions.
Right.
However, when you're watching it, you're not really feeling that. You're just really into everything that's happening, and like you're confused, but you're horrified and you're scared for them. And
I feel like also your mind like makes it up, like connects the dots for
Yeah.
you without really trying, because I was just like, oh, that's because blah blah blah.
Yeah. 'Cause
And that's
they-
because blah, blah blah blah. But it could be wrong.
yeah,
Technically.
yeah, because they also say the original brother, the brother that killed himself, that guy. He also says like the longer you do it, like you might start seeing them without the hand.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what Riley's seeing.
Yeah.
She's not possessed like
Mia. You mean.
Mia. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what what's happening to Mia, even though it happened after just like one time.
Yeah.
But then she went back for obviously however many more. But yeah. So I don't know. They bring some good stuff in there, but
Well, and then the other part, the other second time where I closed where I was like, was when she stabs her dad. Yeah, but then like that also like looking back on it, like so there's spirits that can take the form of living people. Like how did that happen? And so
it like created a scenario like perfectly to where it would kill.
yeah,
Because like it almost felt like that's what it was going to start doing.
yeah,
Like because it did the thing with the sucking of the toes.
yeah,
And then the next time we see it, it creates this scenario where she stabs someone and it ends up being
the person.
yeah. And then you wonder, the first thing that we get, like, does the brother think that he's stabbing something
Right.
else?
Yeah.
But then why does he kill himself, I guess? But
Yeah. So, just we've been saying the past few minutes, like
Yeah.
just dots that aren't quite connected that later after you try to connect, and then it's like, well, wait a second, why did this happen the way it happened? But,
yeah, but it's definitely not a detriment to the film.
No.
I'll say that over and over again.
Yeah.
It's just, afterwards you're pondering the movie because it's so good.
Yeah.
And you're like, and then you just start thinking about it a little bit.
Well, and the anticipation of getting to the end of how it's going to end really carries you through that last half hour.
Yeah. Because everything feels like detriment.
Yeah.
And it like there's also a lot of emotional weight there that I think was communicated well. I do think the mother's kind of like switch at the very end felt like just a plot point, or like they needed something to happen.
Yeah, they needed they needed Mia and Riley to be alone in the room
Yeah,
together. And
because it was a real 180 right off the bat, and then to go from like that to like, oh yeah, you can have a minute alone, like walk out of the wing,
yeah.
felt very odd.
Yeah.
You guys are talking too much. I have something to say.
Yeah, go for it.
I can do this. I think that I'm going back a little bit. I think that Mia was able to see more and be like used more or whatever because she wanted to be.
That's fair.
I feel like that's what I just thought of.
Yeah.
Like while I was watching it, because she like strives for it. She wants it. She wants to do it more. And like the more, I think, the more you want that stuff, the more you're accepting you are of it, the more it will like take advantage of you.
And she's been close to death recently. So, no, I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, the mom didn't die recently.
It's like 2 years, like within the
Yeah.
past couple of years.
But like that also is like daunting. Like she's constantly thinking about that.
Yeah, and because of how it happened. And
Yeah. And taking blame for it and
Yes. I really dug, on another note, the two homeboys, Haley and
I thought
Joss.
one of them was a girl. Oh.
one of them was a girl.
Yeah.
Oh, Zoe Tarakis.
She can still be a homeboy though.
Yeah.
Dude is genderless.
Yeah. Yeah, and they were both definitely dudes.
Yeah.
And yeah, I especially, I don't know, just the way Joss
He's been in things before that I know. You keep talking, but I just randomly thought that.
Chris Olosis is his name. Yeah, I don't know, man. They were just like they reminded me of like my stupid college friends, and like
I was gonna say they played like stereotypical not great people pretty well.
Yeah, and just the way they like, especially during that kind of montage of the second party where they're all kind of jumping around and all, you know, having a good time or whatever. I was like, man, this is like, I'm getting some flashbacks here. But
there was a part that the guy next to me laughed that I did not think was funny at all when Haley, her name's Haley, right? Yeah. She's like smoking a cigarette inside of Riley and his sister's house.
Mm-hmm.
And what's the sister's name?
I don't remember, but are you talking about when she puts it out
Jade?
and tosses it at the guy?
Yeah. Yeah, she puts it out and then she throws it at her friend, whatever.
Yeah.
And in my head, I was like, what a jerk. And then the guy next to me was like,
I believe I let out a hearty ha.
I'm like,
What happened?
I missed all that, so I don't remember.
That's
That's okay though.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I do not know him from something, but I do know where I got that idea. I think there's a Twitch streamer that got really popular that
Looks like
has
him.
a similar vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, bro.
Well, yeah, kind of, and he's also Samoan, so I think.
I
that,
gotcha.
I don't know if he looks Samoan, so that's why.
Sure. Yeah. No. So I also like at the end, kind of jumping back over there. Like I said, there's, you know, this movie does a lot of things. Explaining is not always one of those things,
Which I think is fine.
It is fine, yeah.
Because this is a crisp hour and 35.
Yeah,
So probably an hour and 20 minutes of actual screen time.
Right.
Maybe 25, and it's good.
Yeah.
Like it has the perfect
It's
amount of
very
runtime.
They mention that the spirits that they're communing with are in limbo of sorts.
Yeah.
And I like the idea. It's just one of those things that at the end you're like, okay, well, how do you want to interpret this? That maybe they're not necessarily in limbo, but it's all the people that have used the hand are the ones that like you can commune with.
I also thought there was something similar on that line.
Yeah. And speaking of the hand, the prop itself is very cool.
Yeah.
I think all the graffiti on it and all the
Because it's supposed to be passed around.
Yeah, and I like the idea that I don't think you ever see this, and I kind of just inferred it. Like maybe there's even instructions written on the hand of how to do it, and then people have just written over it, or whatever. And because when it gets to, and that was such a cool. I loved that idea that time had passed from the time that Mia dies to when she gets summoned by the hand.
I don't know if. I mean, it may be a stretch, but I also don't assume that there's only one hand.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I thought there would be.
Yeah. I mean, technically, a witch has two hands.
Right.
So.
But that's just what I thought was that we got
Yeah.
to the end and it to be in the possession. No pun intended. To be in the possession of a group of people that don't even speak. Like, I mean, the primary language in Australia is English. So, like, to be in another country. That was a really good way of being like, oh, it could have been years since you died, kind of thing.
Yeah. No, and I think that would be fine too.
Yeah.
Like I was just, the whole time I was never like, this is the only one. Like
Right.
there may be other things connecting to this whatever world. Maybe another one's sucking feet. I don't know.
Who knows? Not me.
I really like that you don't have to know the answers
Yeah.
to these questions.
Yeah, just something to chat about.
Exactly.
Yep.
Okay. Anything else you guys want to?
I think that's all I got. I'm glad the hand didn't move. When Kristen and I were talking about it before, I thought it was going to crack and like move around and maybe come alive at some point, and I'm really glad it didn't.
Or like grip the hand.
Or something like that. But anyway, that's all I have.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's all I have. Yeah, as well. So I guess we can do ratings and.
Sweet. Foe.
5.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Is that first one of the year?
Is that your first 5 of the year?
I don't know.
Probably.
Cool.
Because she hates movies.
Oh.
Yep.
I'm also 4. I would, really good.
Nice.
A lot of fun.
Too bad no one called this for the
The draft.
The draft. Yeah.
I don't think they knew this was coming out this year.
Do you have
That's fair.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
No.
Good.
I don't think anybody does.
Oh, good.
We said that at the same time.
We did.
But yeah, that does stink. I definitely would. If I would have known that was coming out this year, I probably would have picked it.
I know you
Yeah.
would.
But I didn't see it in my list.
You do like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle.
I definitely do.
like
Because
a
I even
Splinter.
like.
Isn't it Shredder? I don't know. Splinter's
Splinter's
the
the
rat.
rat.
Yeah.
Yeah, the dad.
And Shredder's the main
bad
villain.
guy. Yeah.
I even like. I like the original costume ones from back in the day, and those are not super. They're not critically liked.
Yeah.
But there's like a cult fan of them,
Nice.
and I'm
And you're
one of
in
them.
it.
Okay, that's it for today's episode. Next week we are doing, like I said, TMNT Mutant Mayhem, animated film. You can bring your kids to. I had a baby next to me.
Yeah.
Legitimately.
Quiet, baby.
I thought you were gonna I had a baby. I was like, oh.
Nope.
Okay.
Yep. I had a baby next to me, literally like less than a year old, probably 6-7 months old, in Dolby. But it wasn't very loud. So
I heard her like maybe twice.
yeah,
And it wasn't even like crying or anything. It was just like
she got a
was
little
like,
fussy from time to time. Yeah. But he was good at calming her down and whatnot. It was just it was weird. They also showed up 10 minutes after the movie had started.
Yeah.
So that means like 35 minutes after the
Initial time.
Yeah, the initial ticket time.
They did have a family
Yeah, it was 4 people.
to bring. Yeah.
And our recliners didn't work, so that was cool.
Stop taking babies to Dolby.
Stop taking babies to movies, I think is kind of the consensus, in my opinion. Just
Man,
Okay.
I just think of those growing ears, man.
Yeah.
And that you're gonna kill your
Oh yeah.
kids' hearing
true.
before they're even
Yeah.
5.
Yeah.
That's true.
I just
Put
think
headphones on them,
I think
Yeah.
like 2 years old is like the
or take them to the sensory friendly showings.
Oh, there you go.
I think 2 years old is kind of the like point for me, because at 2 years old they actually can, I think, receive and like have enjoyment with
Sure.
what they're watching, and like a 2-year-old will like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles at that age.
Yeah.
Like they could actually like.
I
I
bet
like
Baker
think,
would.
huh?
I bet Baker would.
Yeah, and not just like there is things on the screen moving, and I just like that there are moving things in front of my eyes.
Yeah.
And I think until 2, of course, it kind of depends kid to kid, but
Sure.
yeah, and you can tell a 2-year-old to quiet down. You can't tell a 1-year-old.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, that's all of our ratings. Watch TMNT. We'll review that next week. Thank you guys so much for listening, and have a good one.
Hey, moron!
You talking to me? You talking to me?
And there seems to be no sign of intelligent life anywhere.
Hello?
What an idiot!
Well, what do you expect? I'm the movie moron.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.
Don't call me stupid.
Oh, right! To call you stupid would be an insult to stupid people! I've known sheep that could outwit you.
Yeah, well, you know, that's just like, your opinion, man.
Man, you are one pathetic loser. No offense. No, none taken.